Welcome back everybody, and if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I like to post all sorts of recipe videos weekly. Now today I am making my delicious creamy cheesy tuna mac and cheese, and this is actually one of my uncle's favorite dishes to make. And speaking of my uncle, I sure would appreciate if you go check out his YouTube channel and help me get him to 100 subscribers. It is a new channel and I sure would appreciate if you guys showed his channel some love. I'll leave the link in the description below and at the end of this video. Okay, so let's make some tuna mac, and here's how I start. So in a sauté pan, I am going to preheat it and add 1 tablespoon of butter. Once the butter has melted, I am going to add around 3 tablespoons of finely chopped celery. Once I've added all of my chopped celery, I'll be adding a pinch of salt, and I'm going to sauté them until the celery starts to soften. Now that my celery has had a head start in the sauté, I am now going to add 3 tablespoons of chopped scallion whites. You could also opt to use finely chopped onion, but I like the flavor of the scallion. So I'm just going to continue sautéing this for around a minute. Again, I just want to soften the celery and sauté the whites of the scallion. Once my celery and white scallions are softened and sautéed, I am now going to add a 12-ounce can of tuna, and this is a drained can of tuna. Now, if you do not have the larger cans or you can't find the larger cans of tuna, you can add 2 small cans of tuna. But this can is 12 ounces, and I do believe the smaller cans are around 5 ounces each, so if you just double it, that'll be good enough. Now that all of my tuna is added, I'm going to start breaking it apart. And I'm not really going to cook this for a very long time. I'm just trying to break it apart and add a little extra flavor. So what I'm going to do now is add a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika and a 1/2 teaspoon of lemon pepper. And this again is just to give the tuna some extra flavor, and I'm not really going to add salt because the cheese sauce is going to be salty, and this tuna is canned, so it definitely comes with sodium in it, so I'm going to exclude the salt. If you would like to add extra seasonings and spices, then definitely do so to your preference. Okay, so after sautéing this for around 1 minute, I'm going to remove it from the heat, and I'm going to set it aside until I need it. But now I'm moving on to the cheese sauce. In a preheated sauce pot, I'm going to add 1/2 tablespoon of unsalted butter. And once that melts, I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika and a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. I am basically following my creamy mac and cheese recipe with the addition of that tuna sauté. So if you just want mac and cheese, then just exclude the tuna, celery, and all those other seasonings and spices, and you will definitely have a delicious creamy mac and cheese recipe. So now that I've warmed through my onion powder and paprika, I am now going to add 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. I am going to work in the cream cheese and combine it with my dried spice seasonings and a little bit of that butter, and I'm going to whisk and move it around until it is creamy and melted. Okay, so my cream cheese is smooth and creamy. Now I'm going to add 12 ounces of 1/2 and 1/2. And for those of you that cannot find 1/2 and 1/2, that is basically 6 ounces of heavy cream and 6 ounces of whole milk. And now I'm going to just mix that in and again combine it until everything is smooth and creamy. By the way, I am working with a medium to medium low heat. I am not working with a medium high or high heat because this will definitely scorch any dairy in this sauce. So you'll want to make sure you work with nothing higher than a medium heat and just take your time working in the ingredients until everything is combined and creamy. Okay, at this point I am going to be adding 8 ounces of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. And you can definitely use the cheese that you prefer, but I find a sharp cheddar cheese works well in a basic mac and cheese. So I'm just going to slowly combine this, again working with a medium to medium low heat, and I'm going to work in this cheese until it is melted and becomes one with this cheese sauce. So once I've worked in all of the cheese, I'm going to leave this on a low setting and let my cheese sauce just hang out. In the meantime, I'm going to start working on my macaroni noodles. I'm adding 2 hefty pinches of salt into boiling water. I'm going to give it a mix, and then I'm going to start cooking my elbow macaroni. I am using 1 pound of elbow macaroni, and if you want a super extra creamy version of this, then instead of using 16 ounces of elbow macaroni, try to use something like 12 to 14 ounces of pasta, and you'll have a very creamy mac and cheese. I'm going to give my elbow macaroni a stir to make sure nothing clumps together. Once my water comes back to a rolling boil, I am going to cook it for around 10 to 11 minutes. So after you've cooked your elbow macaroni to your preferred texture, you'll want to drain all of the water, and then it's time to put together this delicious tuna mac and cheese. By the way, I will link my original creamy mac and cheese recipe video in the description below if you want to check that out. Okay, here is my cheese sauce ready to be combined with elbow macaroni and that tuna sauté. Here we go. So while I continue to mix and combine this tuna mac and cheese, I wanted to give another shout out to my uncle's channel, Let's Go Video Travel Channel. He basically will be posting a lot of walkthroughs or driving videos in 4K of destination spots that he travels to. So I sure would appreciate if we can get him to 100 subscribers. You guys go check out his channel and show him some love. All right, so this is pretty much done. At this point, once you combine everything, you can serve. Or if you want a baked version of this, you can bake this in a buttered 9x13 baking dish, and you can add some breadcrumbs mixed with butter on top with extra cheese, bake it, and you have a baked tuna mac and cheese casserole. But for the most part, this is how I like to serve it. So I definitely hope you guys give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.